Welcome to Today at Keeneland. It is day 6 of the spring meeting here in 2019, and a 9-race card on tap for you. First post, 1:05 Eastern Time. Perfect conditions yet again. We are fast, we are firm, and we are looking forward to handicapping this card with you and bringing you the highlights. Scott Hazelton alongside Gabby Gaudette. It was a successful day yesterday, and it's a card that we're getting used to. I mean, high-level allowance races. We've got a nice feature, which we'll talk about here at the top. But, again, perfect conditions if you want to come racing here at Keeneland.
It was a beautiful day yesterday, and we're continuing that trend here today. So definitely come on out and take advantage of this 9-race program. Excellent, excellent betting opportunities, and we'll talk to you about some of those throughout the show.
We are at Wagering Central. You can swing by Wagering Central and get some betting advice if you need some help. If you're a first-timer out here to the track and don't quite understand the way to gamble with us here at Keeneland, swing by, talk to the betologist, or give us a shout. Stop us as we walk around the grandstand here throughout this entire 9-race card. Our special event of the day, it's a carryover from yesterday. $1 hot dogs, half-price beer, and that goes until 2 o'clock. That is the deadline. We'll make sure Gabby gets in before that deadline because she was rushing before the 2 o'clock window, and she was able to down a dog and a quarter.
Okay, yeah, 2 things. I appreciate you reminding me because it was literally 1:56.
This is a true story.
The special ends at 2, and I was almost late to go on air for that particular race, but I ran and got 2 hot dogs, one for you, one for me. You bailed on me, and there were some rumors circulating that I ate both of those hot dogs. But thank you for clearing up those rumors, because I only ate 1 1/4.
I'm a good teammate.
Thank you.
And you used your iPad as a napkin, which saved her dress yesterday, or pants, or whatever she had on. All right, enough about that. $1 hot dogs, half-price beer until 2 o'clock at any concession stand here at Keeneland Racecourse. But let's take a look back at yesterday's racing. The headliner for sure, Luis Saez. He had himself a day here in Lexington.
He did. He got 3 wins on yesterday's card. We see something like that happen all the time down at Gulfstream, but to do it here is extra special. He was very excited. He almost got 4 wins. He was just beaten, I think, a neck or a half length in the finale, too. So a good day for Luis Saez, including Dynatel, who was on the feature. He was aboard that particular runner. And then we even started the day in exciting fashion with Alec and Arthur, a very impressive first-time starting 2-year-old for John Hancock.
And he taught us about one in coming days, so stay tuned for that. It's a Cairo Prince. So if you see a Cairo Prince trained by John Hancock, put a big star in a 2-year-old race on down the line. But time now to check in with our friends at WKYT.
Hello, everyone. It's meteorologist Jim Caldwell here at WKYT in the First Alert Weather Center, tracking what will be the warmest day of the spring meet so far. Temperatures likely climb into the low 80s by later on this afternoon. Again, very warm and very dry out there today. With temperatures like that and winds blowing in here, maybe 20-25 miles per hour, that could shake things up just a little bit, as some of those winds will be coming in right out of the south as we head out and about for you today. But all in all, a fantastic day out at the track. Good luck and have a great one.
All right, so make sure you put the sunscreen on. It's going to be a warm one out here at Keeneland Racecourse. But time now to get into the handicapping. Let's reveal our picks for the entire card of this 9-race sequence. If 3s do well, I do well.
Oh, my goodness, Scott. You've got 5 3s up on the board. I only have 1, so it looks like we disagree a lot, including the featured race. You went against the heavy favorite Tugviv to me with the number 4. That's in race 8. But, yeah, we don't have much that overlaps today. Hopefully the 3 shows up for you.
I know. I'm in love with blue. It is my favorite color, to be fair. So we'll see if it lines up for me. But let's remind you of how you can give us a follow on social media on the various outlets. Instagram, you can follow us at Keeneland, on Facebook at Keeneland, and on Twitter at Keeneland Racing. You can also catch Today at Keeneland each and every day on TVG2. If you don't have access to TVG2, download the Watch TVG app. That is available on Roku, Amazon Fire TV, as well as Apple TV. You can watch both TVG and TVG2 in HD full time. All right, the feature race today, it's a 3 other than optional 80. It goes as race number 8. Gabby referenced what will be the heavy favorite, Talk Vuv to me, who is the number 1 horse at 7-5. She comes off of a 6-month layoff. She's been working steadily down at Payson Park in South Florida. She's had 9 workouts back. She's a Keeneland graduate who is stakes placed and a stakes winner, second in the Grade 1 Acorn, as well as winner of the Grade 3 Indiana Oaks. I just wonder if she's going to be quick enough and show that speed, and that's why I'm going against her in this spot. She is my second choice, Talk Vuv to me, but Summer Sunday is where I go. And I'm not going to hold her Beaumont race against her. She ran into a buzzsaw in Gas Station Sushi that last year at the age of 3, and she's done nothing wrong outside of that. And the fact that Stuart Simon, who is a very good trainer up at Woodbine, is coming back here to Keeneland to run in this 3 other than is encouraging, because Woodbine is just around the corner, and there are options for him to stay up in Toronto and take on lesser company. She's had 10 workouts coming back off this 11-month layoff. The numbers aren't quite there for Stuart Simon as far as off the layoff, but I don't think he's going to come to Keeneland with a short horse, knowing what he's going to have to be taking on. And I want to take you back to this filly's last race 11 months ago. This was the follow-up race just 21 days after her dull effort in the Grade 3 Beaumont, and she couldn't have done it any easier. She dashes away from this group. She does lug out a bit, and I'm guessing that that's probably a part of the reason why we saw her take this freshening coming into today. But Tyler Gaffalione takes the call. I think that she's got a big shot here today because she has to be quick. And if the filly Talk Vuv to me is not quick coming out of those route races and coming off the 6-month layoff, she is going to be the horse that takes advantage of this tough 3 other than. I like Talk Vuv to me. I like Awestruck, but I'm just looking at the circumstance that the favorite may end up in drawing post position number 1.
No, you're right. I mean, I'm sure Rudy Brisset was not excited to have drawn the rail post position with this filly, because she is a horse that possesses a lot of early speed, but we're talking about a different game at 3/4, especially when you're 4. You know, when you're developing at 3 or even 2,
right,
speed, I think, is a totally different conversation. So we'll see what she can do, but I do think that she is the class of the field. We'll take you back to the Grade 3 Indiana Oaks, a race in which she won and really kind of surfaced in the 3-year-old picture scene. I mean, she went on to run in the Grade 1 Alabama subsequently, and this is a filly who's always had, you know, I think trouble harnessing her speed, especially when the distances progressed. But this race in particular was so impressive, Scott. She went so fast. She destroyed all other speed in the race, and she kept on going with her ears pricked at the wire. And there was so much buzz circulating her going into the Grade 1 Alabama. She went crazy fast fractions in there, and she came back in the Spinster. And I think Rudy Brisset was trying to use that as a learning experience and trying to see if they could rate her, and she's just clearly not a filly that wants to rate going 2 turns. So I'm curious to see what the strategy is. And you were talking about the speed of the 4 Summer Sunday, but a late equipment change, blinkers on with the 3 Everyone Loves Jimmy. She's very fast too. And I kind of get the feeling that the 3 and the 4 are going to be out in front of her, and it'll be a rider's race for sure with the return of Talk Vuv to me. On top of that, I want to make a point. She is skipping a condition. She is 2 other than eligible.
Right.
This is a 3 other than. And I know if she's good enough to be competitive against Grade 1 company, she's probably good enough to win this race, but I think it's worth noting.
And I think it probably is a situation where this is the only way they can get the race to fill,
yes,
by opening it up and allowing these other fillies to race. But that is a good point that you bring up. I think that the race in the Indiana Oaks was an easier group than what she's facing off against today.
It was an easier group, but the dynamics of the race, the fact that she kind of battled off all other speed, went so fast on the front end, and still won with so much left in the tank. I thought how she did it was impressive, but I can't argue in terms of the quality of the field.
She'll be a short price. I think she'll be even money or probably less. Talk Vuv to me in our featured 8th race. But time now to check in with our man, Tom Leach.
Trainer Buff Bradley has Upset Brewing in the allowance feature. Tell me about the last race. Very impressive down at the fairgrounds in March.
Yeah, it was very impressive. Gabe Sayas did a great job just sitting off the pace and then finding a space to come through, turning for home, and she just opened up. And, you know, right now she's showing a lot of confidence. That gave her a big boost, I believe.
I know she has a lot of seconds, but she also has 2 wins in the last 4. Has something changed?
No, I think she's getting older, maturing, and she's always run hard. I mean, she's the most consistent thing I have in the barn. You know, she runs every time. As you see on her form, you know, she's just gotten beat at the wire a few times in some stakes races, but she's really on top of her game right now.
Gabe fit her well?
Gabe fits her very well.
Good luck.
Thank you, Tom.
That is Buff Bradley. He's got Upset Brewing in the allowance feature.
Upset Brewing could be, and speaking of being on top of her game, she's going to have to bring her A-plus game to roll with this group. That is the reality.
I'm curious to see, and we'll talk about this in the second or later in the show, your approach to the late pick 4, my approach to the late pick 4. I'm actually hitting the all button. So we'll get into that race a little bit more in the featured race. I think it's all or nothing for Talk Vuv to me.
Yeah.
If she wins, anybody else could win. I mean, if she loses, excuse me.
Right. All right, time for our key race analysis, and I'm going to go to early in the card, race number 2, which does start the early pick 4. There is a scratch. Take out the number 4 horse Into the Breach. See how wide open this morning line is, and Sandville is the 5-2 morning line favorite. This is a take charge Indy gelding who came back in late February at Gulfstream Park for Kenny McPeek, and that was off of a year-plus layoff. Her race prior to that, you can see in the form, was on February 9th at Oakland Park, and he came back with a very strong effort against 2 nice horses. Let's go back to this February 21st race at Gulfstream Park. Fast talking, sat just off the pace. It's a nice horse for the Phipps stable who ends up winning this race. Leinster, he's a legit horse who set the pace. But Sandville down on the inside, you can see how quick the fractions were, and he kept on trying. So building off of this here today, and we always talk about Kenny McPeek, you'd like to see a race under their belt, and that second start, that third start, making that improvement. If this gelding can put together this race again today, I think he wins this pretty comfortably. So I really do like Sandville, especially off that year layoff with that race under his belt.
Yeah, I think he makes sense. I think he is that prototypical Kenny McPeek horse who gave him 1 race at the sprint distance, and now in his second start, it gets a little bit more distance, which I think will help him because he's a horse that had gone 2 turns before in the past. I like him too. I agree with you in that race.
Yeah, I'm going with the inside 3 there, 3-2-1 in race number 2. There's no super high 5, by the way, in race number 2. All right, Gabby, you're going to take us 1 race forward, race number 3, an A other than allowance race, entry-level allowance race. Take out Soul of the Hero, the number 4. Another wide-open race. Paladar is the second choice. Go to the inside. It's Sergeant Drive, who's 5-2 as the morning line favorite.
Yeah, and these horses are very different in terms of their running style. Paladar, he likely will be the pace in here. He set the tempo against Maiden Special Weight Company last time out, taking the field wire to wire. But it's a tough race to gauge because it was a 5-horse field. It was a slow pace. And I think he gets the acid test here today, whereas Sergeant Drive, who I like best, I think he's got more proven form. And his last race at Gulfstream, I'll take you back to it. It was on the 6th of February, and he saved ground pretty much the entire way, but it's kind of a double-edged sword, Scott. If you save ground, you're going to take a ton of dirt. You can see this horse is covered from head to toe in dirt. You can barely see that the blinkers are on him. But once Johnny Velazquez angled him